Every year, over 1 billion people pack their bags, grab their passports, and cross borders. They travel not just for leisure, but for experience. For the promise of something bigger than daily life. But what if this global movement, the one filling hotels, airports, and Instagram feeds, is quietly reshaping the cities we love most? From London to Dubai. From Bangkok to Barcelona. Tourism has become one of the most powerful forces on Earth. And like any powerful force, it comes with hidden consequences. Because behind every selfie at a landmark, every flight to paradise, and every five-star resort, something deeper is happening to the cities themselves. Today, we'll explore 3 truths the travel industry doesn't always show you. How tourism is transforming economies and city skylines. Why locals in some cities are starting to fight back. And how the future of travel might change everything we know about urban life. Let's uncover the real cost, and the real opportunity, behind the world's favorite obsession. Let me show you exactly how this happened. A few decades ago, tourism was simple. People visited for landmarks, beaches, and history. But after the 1990s, something changed. Cheap flights. Global internet. And a new middle class that could finally afford to explore. By 2019, before the pandemic, tourism made up nearly 10% of the world's economy, according to the World Travel and Tourism Council. Entire cities began to depend on it. Paris. New York. Istanbul. Dubai. Tourism became not just entertainment, but strategy. Dubai turned desert sand into luxury. Barcelona marketed its streets as living museums. Thailand built an economy powered by travelers, not factories. But here's the twist: tourism doesn't just visit a city. It changes it. Because when millions of people visit one place, it starts to reshape how that place works, how it looks, who it's for, and who can still afford to live there. And that's where things get really interesting. Let's start with the obvious: tourism transforms economies, but not always equally. When a city becomes a global hotspot, money flows in fast. Restaurants boom. Hotels rise. Property prices soar. Take Dubai. It turned tourism into an art form, 20 million visitors in 2023, more than double its population. The result? Jobs, global fame, and a brand that sells dreams. But there's another side. As tourism grows, locals often pay the price. In places like Venice, housing costs have skyrocketed. Locals move out, replaced by short-term rentals. Shops that once served communities now sell souvenirs. Experts call this over-tourism. It's when a city becomes so successful at attracting visitors, it forgets how to sustain its own people. We'll uncover why this balance is so hard in a moment. But here's a thought: every tourist city eventually faces the same test. Who is the city really for, the visitor or the resident? Because when streets turn into attractions, neighborhoods into backdrops, and culture into content, the line between real and artificial begins to blur. And yet, the story doesn't end here. Because the next phase of tourism's rise goes even deeper. But if you think this is just about crowded landmarks, wait until you hear this. Tourism doesn't just change what cities look like. It changes what they become. Let's take Bangkok, once known for temples and street food. Now, it's also known as one of the world's top digital nomad hubs. Cafes, co-working spaces, short-term stays, all reshaped by a global class of travelers who work from anywhere. The same is happening in Lisbon, Bali, and Mexico City. It's a quiet revolution. Tourists are becoming temporary residents. And that's blurring the line between travel and migration. According to urban analysts, this new kind of tourism, longer, digital, lifestyle-driven, is rewriting local economies. Rents rise. Cuisines adapt. Whole neighborhoods rebrand to attract global attention. In Dubai, this plays out through mega experiences, shopping festivals, sky lounges, desert resorts, all built to keep visitors spending longer and coming back faster. But there's a paradox. As cities design themselves for visitors, they risk losing what made them worth visiting. Think about it. If every city becomes an Instagram-perfect version of itself, clean, shiny, predictable, then what happens to the soul of a place? According to experts, this global sameness could be tourism's biggest hidden cost. But wait, there's still a bigger twist ahead. Because behind this economic shift lies something even more powerful: identity. This brings us to the most revealing truth of all. Tourism doesn't just reshape economies or skylines, it reshapes identity. Cities begin to see themselves through the eyes of outsiders. What does that mean? It means that the way a city markets itself slowly becomes the way it defines itself. Take Paris, romance and art. Dubai, luxury and innovation. New York, ambition and energy. Bali, spiritual escape. These images attract travelers, but they also lock cities into roles they can't easily escape. Reportedly, tourism now influences urban planning decisions in over 70% of major global cities. So, parks are designed for Instagram moments. Local festivals are rebranded for international crowds. And authenticity itself becomes a product. But here's the bigger picture: when cities adapt too much for outsiders, locals often feel like visitors in their own homes. Protests in Barcelona, rent strikes in Lisbon, and policy changes in Amsterdam all reflect the same question. How much tourism is too much? And yet, tourism isn't the enemy. It's a mirror. It reflects what the world wants, and what cities believe they must become to stay relevant. So the real challenge isn't tourism itself, it's how cities evolve with it. So, what does all this mean for us today? For one, tourism is becoming a global competition. Cities now market themselves like brands, competing for attention, investment, and reputation. Dubai builds the world's tallest towers. Singapore turns airports into attractions. New York reinvents its skyline every decade. This competition drives innovation, but also inequality. Wealth flows to places that can afford to impress, while smaller cities struggle to stand out. For the US and UK audience, the takeaway is clear. Tourism isn't just changing foreign cities, it's reshaping your own. From the Airbnb debate in New York to the revival of post-industrial towns in northern England, the same forces are at play. In the short term, tourism can revive economies. In the long term, it demands balance. Cities that succeed will be those that protect character while embracing change. Places that forget that lesson may end up looking impressive, but feeling hollow. But there's hope. Some cities are learning. Amsterdam limits short-term rentals. Kyoto asks tourists to respect traditions. Dubai invests in sustainable tourism, solar-powered resorts, eco-desert tours, and cultural preservation zones. The next generation of tourism could be not just about seeing the world, but saving it. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. Tourism, at its heart, is human curiosity. It's our desire to explore, connect, and understand. Cities that remember this, beyond the money, beyond the image, will thrive. Because the future of tourism won't just be about where people go. It'll be about what those journeys mean. A city that welcomes travelers without losing itself, that's the true masterpiece. And maybe, just maybe, the places that balance ambition with authenticity will become the world's new landmarks. Reportedly, urban futurists now say that the best cities of tomorrow will feel both global and deeply local. That's the magic of it all. The world's travelers are reshaping cities. But cities, in return, are reshaping what it means to be a traveler. If this opened your eyes, you'll want to see what's next. Because the future of travel is closer, and more personal, than you think. Tourism isn't just changing where we go. It's changing who we are. Our cities. Our culture. Our sense of home. If you found this journey thought-provoking, hit subscribe and join us here on Economic Voyages. We explore how money, travel, and power shape the world we live in. And don't miss our next episode, The Rise of Digital Nomad Cities. Question for you. Backhand index pointing right: is tourism helping cities evolve, or making them lose their soul?